Admiral Shin Dong-wook stood on the bridge of the massive ship that had risen from Earth's Pacific Ocean. The vessel was 3 kilometers long. Built by the architects thousands of years before humans learned to make fire, now it responded to his thoughts as if it had always been his to command. "Admiral," called Captain Jang Soo-bin from the communication station, "we're receiving distress signals from 17 human colonies. The alien empires are moving to crush any resistance before we can reach them." Shin studied the galaxy map floating in front of him. Red dots showed where human populations were in danger. Yellow dots marked the fleets of the 3 allied empires racing to intercept Earth's ships. "How many architect vessels do we have operational?" 47 capital ships, 300 smaller vessels, reported his tactical officer. "More are awakening every hour. The network calculates we'll have enough firepower to challenge all 3 empires within a week." But Shin knew they didn't have a week. The Vrex Empire, Korlani Federation, and Nexus Collective had put aside decades of hatred to form an alliance against humanity. Their combined fleets were already moving toward human colony worlds. On the planet Kepler 442b, which humans had called New Sol, the local population was in revolt. Lee Min-jae, a 3rd-generation colonist, led 2,000 humans in an uprising against their Korlani overseers. They had hidden weapons for years waiting for this moment. "The Earthships are coming," Min-jae announced to his fighters over stolen radios. "We just need to hold out until they arrive." But the Korlani garrison was fighting back hard. Their energy weapons cut through the human barricades while overhead. Korlani warships prepared to bomb the human districts. Captain Jang Soo-bin piloted her architect ship through the ancient jumpgate network, moving faster than any human had ever traveled. Her destination was New Sol, where 20,000 humans faced destruction. "Captain," her navigator warned, "we're detecting a large Korlani fleet ahead. At least 50 ships. Signal the other ships in our task force," Jang ordered. "We're going in." The battle above New Sol lasted only minutes. The architect ships moved like living things, their energy shields absorbing enemy fire while their weapons simply switched off Korlani technology. One by one, the alien ships went dark and drifted helplessly in space. On the planet's surface, Min-jae watched Korlani weapons suddenly stop working. "This is it," he shouted to his people. "Now we take our world back." Dr. Oh Kyung-mi sat in Earth's Architect Control Center, monitoring the global network's response to each liberation. "The system is learning," she reported to Earth's leadership. "Every time we free an oppressed population, it refines its judgment algorithms." "What does that mean?" asked Minister Park. "It means the network is getting better at identifying which civilizations deserve protection and which deserve consequences," Dr. Oh explained. "Planets where rulers treat their people well are seeing technology improvements. Oppressive regimes are losing power. This was causing chaos across the galaxy. On the Nexus Collective's homeworld, the insect-like rulers found their population control systems failing. Worker castes that had been genetically modified to be obedient suddenly regained free will. Revolts broke out in every major city. The Vrex Empire faced similar problems. Their military hierarchy had always maintained control through fear and superior weapons. When those weapons stopped working, subject species across their territory began fighting for freedom. Admiral Shin coordinated the liberation campaigns from his flagship. "Captain Jang, status on the rescue operations?" "We've freed 12 colonies so far," Jang reported. "But the alien alliance is adapting. They're moving their fleets to protect their most important worlds." Intelligence Officer Nam Yu-jin, now commanding a stealth ship, provided regular updates on enemy movements. "The 3 empires are pulling back their forces to create a defensive line around their core worlds. They're abandoning the outer colonies. This created opportunities. Captain Kim Woo-jin led his task force to the abandoned mining world of Titan 7, where 5,000 humans had been forced to work in dangerous conditions. When the Vrex garrison fled, the human workers took control of the entire planet. But not every liberation went smoothly. On the world called Haven's End, the Nexus Collective decided to destroy the human population rather than lose control. Their ships began bombing human cities before Earth forces could arrive. Captain Jang pushed her ship to maximum speed, but she was still hours away. "We're not going to make it in time," she told her crew grimly. That's when the Architect Network revealed another capability. Ancient defense platforms hidden throughout the galaxy suddenly activated. The ones near Haven's End targeted the Nexus bombers, disabling them with precision energy beams. The network is protecting innocent populations everywhere, Dr. O reported from Earth. Not just humans. Any species being oppressed or attacked is receiving help. This was more than the alien empires had expected. They thought they were fighting humans for control of ancient weapons. Instead, they found themselves fighting an intelligent system that judged their every action. Supreme Commander Zeth of the Nexus Collective called an emergency meeting with his allies. The ancient weapons are not just tools, he told Corex and the Corlani leadership. They are judges, and they have found us guilty. Guilty of what? Demanded Admiral Corex. Of everything, Zeth replied. Every slave we've kept, every world we've conquered, every population we've oppressed. The system has been watching and recording for thousands of years. The Corlani Prime Minister studied the reports from across her territory. Our technology failures are not random. They target our most oppressive practices specifically. Prison planets are losing power. Slave ships are being disabled. Labor camps are shutting down. Corex slammed his fists on the table. Then we destroy Earth before this goes any further. But Admiral Shin had anticipated this. Earth's solar system was now surrounded by hundreds of architect vessels, with more arriving through jump gates every hour. Any fleet attempting to attack humanity's home would face firepower beyond imagination. Captain Zhang completed another successful liberation, this time freeing the human population of Alpha Centauri III. As she stood among the celebrating colonists, her communication officer brought urgent news. Captain, we're receiving a transmission from the Alien Alliance. They want to negotiate. Zhang smiled. Tell them to contact Earth directly. We don't negotiate while our people are still in chains. The message that reached Earth was simple. The three empires requested an immediate ceasefire and peace talks. But their fleets were still moving toward human worlds, and their oppressive practices continued on planets beyond architect protection. Minister Park convened Earth's War Council. They want to negotiate from a position of strength. They're hoping to keep some of their conquests. Admiral Shin appeared on the communication screen from his flagship. Earth, we've liberated 42 human colonies, but there are still worlds under siege. The enemy is getting desperate. Dr. O checked the Architect Network's assessment. The system recommends we continue operations until all oppressed populations are free. It's not just about humans anymore. Millions of other species are counting on us. As if to emphasize this point, reports came in of non-human species across the galaxy rising up against their oppressors. The Architect Network was providing them with the same support it gave to humans. We've started something we can't stop, Minister Park realized. This is bigger than just getting our colonies back. Admiral Shin understood the implications. We're not just fighting for human freedom. We're fighting for galactic freedom. The question is, are we ready to finish what the architects started? The answer came from an unexpected source. Captain Lee, still on Vrex Prime with the diplomatic mission, sent a message that changed everything. Earth, I've been talking to ordinary Vrex citizens. They want freedom too. The revolution isn't just coming to human worlds. It's coming everywhere. Dr. Han Soo-jin stood in the deep cave beneath the Rocky Mountains, staring at something that should not exist. The metal walls around her glowed with soft blue light, covered in symbols that looked nothing like any human writing. Above ground, the world was going crazy because Captain Lee had sent his message from Alpha Centauri. This is impossible, Han said to her team. These tunnels go down for miles. The metal is older than human civilization, but our scanners show it's more advanced than anything we can build. Engineer Choi Min-ho's voice came through her radio from the space station above Earth. Dr. Han, the signals are definitely coming from your location. Whatever you found down there, it's connected to systems all over the solar system. Commander Yoon-ji Hye arrived at the cave entrance with a team of soldiers. She had been put in charge of investigating the strange signals that started when the Eternal Dawn left Earth. Dr. Han, what exactly are we looking at? Han touched one of the glowing symbols on the wall. Suddenly, the entire cave lit up brighter. It's some kind of ancient technology. Not human. The computer systems are trying to talk to me, but I can't understand the language. On Earth's moon, similar discoveries were happening. Workers at Luna Base found hidden chambers that had been sealed for thousands of years. On Mars, the research stations reported that the old ruins everyone thought were natural rock formations were actually buildings. Admiral Kim Tae-won called an emergency meeting in Earth's capital city of New Geneva. Military leaders, scientists, and government officials filled the room. Everyone looked worried. "Let me understand this," Admiral Kim said. "Our solar system is full of ancient alien technology that we never knew existed, and it all started working when we sent one ship to another star?" "That's correct," said Dr. Oh Kyung-mi, Earth's top archaeologist. "We're finding evidence of a massive defense network, hidden weapons platforms around Jupiter, cloaked stations near Saturn. Even Pluto has structures we never detected." Minister Park Jae-sung, the head of Earth's government, stood up. "The question is, who built all this and why?" Dr. Han's voice came through the communication system from the cave. "I think I'm starting to understand the symbols. The builders called themselves the architects. They left behind some kind of instruction manual." Everyone in the room leaned forward. "What does it say?" Admiral Kim asked. "It's talking about something called guardian species," Han replied. "Races chosen to protect the galaxy during times of crisis. The architects picked certain species and gave them tools to restore order when things went wrong." Commander Yoon, still at the cave site, watched as more symbols appeared on the walls. "Dr. Han, it looks like the system is downloading information into the main computer." The walls of the cave suddenly showed images, star maps, alien races, historical events spanning millions of years. Han watched in amazement as the story unfolded. "The architects existed long before humans evolved," Han explained to the people listening. "They watched the galaxy go through cycles of peace and war, growth and destruction. When they realized they were dying out, they built this network to help younger races avoid making the same mistakes." Admiral Kim studied the information flowing across the screens. "And they chose humanity as one of these guardian species?" 50,000 years ago, Han confirmed. "But the selection was automatic. The architects' computers picked us based on our potential, not our current abilities. They hid the network until we would be ready to use it. On the space stations throughout the solar system, more systems came online. Massive ships that had been disguised as asteroids began to move. Weapons that could destroy planets powered up for the first time in millennia." Captain Lee's voice came through from Alpha Centauri. "Earth, we're seeing reports that alien empires across the galaxy are detecting power surges from your direction. They're very scared. Admiral Korek says his ship's computers are showing energy readings they've never seen before." Minister Park looked at the military advisors. "Are we in danger from these awakening systems?" Dr. Oh Kyung-mi shook her head. "The architect databases show that the network only responds to human commands. We're not just inheriting this technology, we're meant to control it." In the cave, Han watched as a new section of the wall opened up, revealing a chamber filled with strange devices. "Commander Yoon, I think this is some kind of control room. The computers are asking me to accept responsibility for the Guardian Protocol." "What does that mean?" Yoon asked. Han read the symbols appearing on the screen. "It means taking charge of galactic peace and order. The architects built this network to stop corruption and oppression across the galaxy. If I activate it, we become responsible for judging other civilizations." Admiral Kim's voice came through the radio. "Dr. Han, do not activate anything until we understand the full consequences." But it was too late. As Han touched the control panel to learn more, the entire network activated automatically. Throughout the solar system, ancient machines that had slept for 50,000 years came fully online. On Jupiter's moons, hidden factories began building ships using technology far beyond human understanding. Near Saturn, massive energy collectors started gathering power from the sun. Around Pluto, sensors that could see across the entire galaxy began scanning for threats. Captain Lee reported from Alpha Centauri that the Rex fleet was backing away from human space. Admiral Korek says his ships are detecting energy signatures that match legends from his people's oldest stories. He's calling them the weapons of the first ones. The Awakening Network sent out signals across the galaxy. On distant worlds, other architect installations began responding. Civilizations that had been using architect ruins as decoration suddenly found their planet's technology shutting down or powering up, depending on how they treated their people. In the cave, Han watched as the final piece of information appeared on the walls. "Everyone needs to hear this," she said. "The architects didn't just give us this technology. They gave it to us because they knew the galaxy would need fixing again. The current empires, the Vrex, the Korlani Federation, the Nexus Collective, they're all corrupted. The network is designed to restore balance. Minister Park realized what this meant. We're not just getting powerful technology. We're being forced to become galactic police. Commander Yoon looked at the ancient control room. The question is, are we ready for that responsibility? Above them, Earth's hidden defenses continued to wake up. Humanity had spent 200 years thinking they were alone and weak. In one day, they had discovered they were the inheritors of the most powerful force in the galaxy. The awakening had begun, and there was no going back. Captain Lee Dae-ho stood on the bridge of the Eternal Dawn, watching the stars stretch into lines as his ship jumped to faster-than-light speed. For the first time in 200 years, humans were leaving their home solar system. Earth had been silent to the galaxy for so long that most aliens thought they were dead. Lee felt nervous but excited. His crew of 50 humans had trained for 5 years for this mission. Dr. Park So-young, the ship's scientist, sat at her station checking the sensors. Engineer Choi Min-ho worked on the engines in the back of the ship. They were Earth's best people, chosen to make first contact with aliens again. "Captain," said Park So-young, looking up from her screen, "we're getting close to Alpha Centauri. The computers show something big ahead of us." Lee walked over to look at her screen. Strange shapes appeared in space, much bigger than any human ship. "Those look like warships," he said. "Get ready to send a peaceful message." The Eternal Dawn dropped out of light speed near the edge of the Alpha Centauri system. What they saw made everyone on the bridge go quiet. Huge alien ships floated in space, each one the size of a small city. The ships had sharp edges and looked built for war. "Unknown vessel," came a voice over the radio in broken human language. "You enter Vrex Empire space. State your purpose or be destroyed." Lee took a deep breath. This was the moment Earth had prepared for. "This is Captain Lee Dae-ho of the Earthship Eternal Dawn. We come in peace to restart contact with the galaxy." There was a long silence. Then the alien voice came back, sounding shocked. "Did you say Earth?" "The dead world, Earth." "Earth is not dead," Lee replied. "We have been quiet, but we are very much alive." The alien ships moved closer, surrounding the small human vessel. Lee could see through the windows that the aliens had gray skin and 4 arms. These were the Vrex, according to Earth's old records. "This is impossible," the Vrex commander said. "Earth went silent 200 years ago. We thought all humans died. We have been using your old colony worlds." Park So-young looked worried. "Captain, they're saying they took over human colonies. That means humans might still be alive out there under alien rule." Lee felt anger rise in his chest, but he kept his voice calm. "We would like to speak with your leaders about this." The Vrex commander seemed confused. "You will come with us to our base. Do not try to run or we will shoot your ship." As the Eternal Dawn followed the alien fleet, Choi Min-ho called from the engine room. "Captain, something strange is happening. Our ship's computers are picking up signals from inside our own solar system. Signals we never knew existed." "What kind of signals?" Lee asked. "They're coming from under Earth's surface and from hidden places throughout our solar system. It's like there's been some kind of defense system watching us all along." Dr. Park So-young ran more scans. "The signals are getting stronger as we move away from Earth. It's almost like the system is waking up because we left home." Lee felt a chill. Earth had always seemed like a normal planet to humans. But what if it was something more? What if there were secrets hidden in their own home that they never knew about? The Vrex fleet led them to a huge space station orbiting a dead planet. As they got closer, Lee could see human-built structures on the planet's surface, but they looked old and abandoned. "That used to be New Shanghai Colony," Park So-young said sadly. 50,000 humans lived there before the Great Silence." The Vrex commander's voice came over the radio again. "Prepare to dock. You will meet with Admiral Corex. He will decide what to do with you." As their ship connected to the alien station, Lee gathered his crew. "Remember, we represent all of humanity. Whatever we learn here, we need to get this information back to Earth." They walked through strange corridors filled with gray-skinned Vrex soldiers. The aliens stared at them like they were ghosts. Some looked afraid, others angry. Admiral Corex was a huge Vrex with scars across his face. He sat in a chair that looked like a throne. "So," he said, "the dead humans return. This is very bad timing." "Why bad timing?" Lee asked. "Because the galaxy is at war," Corex replied. 3 great empires fight for control. The old Galactic Federation fell 50 years ago. We Vrex control this part of space now, along with all the human worlds you abandoned." Lee felt his heart sink. The Galactic Federation had been humanity's friend. What happened to the Federation? Corruption, greed, war, Korek said. The peaceful times are over. Now we fight for survival. The Korlani Federation and Nexus Collective want to destroy us. And the human colonies? Dr. Park So-young asked. Korex laughed, but it wasn't a happy sound. The humans who survived became workers for us. They build our ships and grow our food. They are useful slaves. Lee stepped forward, anger clear on his face. Humans are not slaves. They are now, Korex said. And you will be too, unless you can prove you are worth something else. Back on the Eternal Dawn, Choi Min-ho monitored the strange signals from Earth. They were getting much stronger. Captain, he called over the radio, something big is happening back home. The signals are spreading to Jupiter, Saturn, even Pluto. It's like our whole solar system is waking up. Lee knew they had to get this information back to Earth quickly, but first, they needed to learn more about what happened to the galaxy and to the millions of humans living under alien rule. Admiral Korex, Lee said, we would like to send a message back to Earth. Our people need to know about the situation here. Korex smiled, showing sharp teeth. Oh, you can send your message. But your Earth friends should know the galaxy has changed. If humans want to survive, they will need to be much stronger than they were before. As Lee watched the alien admiral, he wondered what secrets Earth was hiding. The strange signals from home suggested that humanity might be more powerful than anyone knew. But would it be enough to face a galaxy at war? The Eternal Dawn had left Earth as explorers. Now they might need to return as warriors. President Lim Young-ho stood before the assembled leaders of Earth, knowing that the decision he made today would shape the galaxy for generations. Reports flowed in from across known space. The three empires were collapsing as their oppressed populations rose up, supported by the Architect Network's selective technology shutdowns. The question before us, President Lim said to the Council, is not whether we can control the galaxy. The Architect Network has given us that power. The question is what kind of galaxy we want to create. Fleet Admiral Song Mi-kyung appeared on the main screen from her command ship near the galactic core. Mr. President, we've received surrender offers from 47 former Empire worlds. Local populations have taken control and are requesting protection under Earth's guidance. Philosopher Ryu Chan-woo, whom Earth had appointed to help establish new galactic ethics, studied the incoming requests. These aren't conquered peoples begging for mercy. These are free societies, asking for help building something better. Dr. Han, Sujin reported from the Architect Control, Center deep beneath Earth. The network is providing us with detailed information about every civilization in the galaxy. We can see which ones practiced freedom and which ones practiced oppression. The data goes back thousands of years. President Lim looked at the massive display showing the galaxy's political collapse. The Vrex Empire had split into dozens of independent worlds. The Korlani Federation had dissolved as member species declared independence. The Nexus Collective faced complete revolution as their worker castes overthrew their rulers. Sir, called Captain Jang Soo-bin from the liberated world of New Seoul, we're getting reports that some former Empire leaders want to negotiate new governments. They're offering to adopt human principles of freedom and democracy. This was the moment President Lim had been preparing for. Earth could choose to become galactic overlords, ruling through superior technology, or they could try something that had never been attempted on such a scale. Open a galaxy-wide communication channel, President Lim ordered. Across hundreds of worlds, billions of beings received the same message from Earth. President Lim's image appeared on screens throughout known space. People of the galaxy, he began, humanity has awakened technology that gives us great power. We could use this power to rule over you, but that is not who we are. Instead, we offer you a choice, he paused, knowing that every word would be remembered by history. We propose the Architect Accords, a new galactic constitution based on principles we have found in the ancient databases. These principles are simple. Every intelligent being has the right to freedom, justice, and the opportunity to grow. No species may oppress another. No government may enslave its people. No empire may conquer worlds that wish to remain independent. The response was immediate. On the former Vrex homeworld, citizens gathered in the streets to cheer. On liberated Korlani worlds, celebrations broke out in every city. Even on the Nexus Collective's homeworld, the newly free worker castes voted to accept Earth's proposal. But not everyone was happy. Admiral Corax, hiding on a fortress world with the last loyal Vrex forces, sent his own message. Humans offer weakness disguised as strength, Corax declared. The galaxy needs strong leadership, not this democracy nonsense. We will fight until the old order is restored. Similar messages came from other Empire loyalists. About 30 worlds across the galaxy rejected Earth's offer and prepared for war. Fleet Admiral Song received new orders from Earth. Admiral, you are authorized to disable any world that refuses the Accords and continues oppressive practices. But remember, we're not trying to destroy these civilizations. We're trying to change them. The final campaign lasted 3 months. Admiral Song's fleet, supported by the Architect Network, approached each holdout world. Most surrendered when they realized resistance was hopeless. Their technology simply stopped working when they tried to fight. A few worlds tried to resist anyway. Admiral Corax made his last stand on Vrex Prime, rallying 10,000 loyal soldiers to fight with primitive weapons when their energy guns failed. Captain Zhang led the landing force that finally convinced Corax to surrender. Admiral, she told him, your own people are asking you to stop. They want to try the new way. Corax looked around at his soldiers, many of whom had laid down their weapons. The galaxy was strong under the old system. Now it will be weak. No, Zhang replied. Now it will be free. There's a difference. The Architect Network's final act surprised everyone. After all oppressive governments had fallen or reformed, the network began to shut down its military functions. Weapons platforms went dormant. Warships returned to their hidden bases. The technology that had reshaped the galaxy pulled back, leaving only the peaceful applications active. Dr. Oh Kyung-mi studied this development with fascination. The network was designed for temporary intervention only. Now that the crisis is over, it's returning to monitoring mode. President Lim understood what this meant. The architects never intended for any one species to rule the galaxy permanently. They gave us the tools to fix things, but now we have to maintain the peace ourselves. The first Galactic Assembly met on Earth 6 months later. Representatives from over 1,000 worlds gathered to formally establish the Architect Accords. Unlike the old Galactic Federation, this new alliance had mechanisms to prevent corruption and protect individual rights. Ryu Chan-woo presented the final document to the assembly. These accords are not imposed by force, he explained. They are chosen freely by each world. Any civilization can leave if they wish, but they cannot oppress their people or attack their neighbors. Former Admiral Corax, now working as a construction supervisor on Vrex Prime, watched the ceremony on public screens. His world had voted to join the new galactic community, and even he had to admit that life had improved for ordinary citizens. Captain Lee, promoted to Earth's first galactic ambassador, gave the closing speech. Today we begin something new. Not a human empire, but a community of free worlds. The architects gave us the power to change things, but you, all of you, chose to embrace that change. President Lim stood on Earth looking up at the stars. Knowing that humanity had avoided the trap of absolute power, they had become galactic guardians not through conquest, but through the courage to offer freedom to all. In the deep space beyond known galaxies, other architect networks began to stir. The successful transformation of this galaxy had triggered awakening protocols elsewhere. Across the universe, other guardian species were beginning to rise, ready to continue the architect's work of spreading freedom and justice among the stars. Earth's lost guardian had awakened, and in doing so, had awakened something much larger. The age of galactic empires was over. The age of galactic democracy had begun. As philosopher Ryu had written in the final line of the Architect Accords, freedom is not a gift to be given, but a choice to be made. Today the galaxy chooses freedom. Ambassador Kang Hyerin stepped off the shuttle onto Vrex Prime, the capital world of the Vrex Empire. The planet's red sky and sharp metal buildings made her feel uncomfortable, but she had a job to do. Earth needed to understand what had happened to the galaxy, and more importantly, what had happened to the millions of humans living under alien rule. Captain Lee walked beside her, along with Intelligence Officer Nam Yu-jin and a small team of guards. The Vrex soldiers around them looked nervous. Word had spread across the galaxy about the power awakening in Earth's solar system, and everyone was afraid. Remember, Nam Yu-jin whispered to Kang, we're here to gather information first. The Architect Network is still powering up back home. We need to understand the political situation before Earth decides what to do. Admiral Korex met them at the shuttle platform. The large Vrex leader had lost his confident attitude from their first meeting. "Ambassador Kang," he said, "welcome to Vrex Prime. Many people want to meet the humans who control the ancient weapons." Kang kept her face calm, even though her heart was beating fast. "We come seeking knowledge about our people and the current state of galactic civilization." As they walked through the capital city, Kang saw something that made her angry. Humans worked in the streets, cleaning buildings and carrying heavy loads. They wore simple gray clothes and kept their eyes down when aliens passed by. These were descendants of the human colonies that had been abandoned when Earth went silent. "Those are our people," Lee whispered. Nam Yu-jin was already recording everything with hidden cameras. "Look at their condition. They're treated like servants." Korex led them to a huge building in the center of the city. Inside, representatives from across the galaxy waited to meet them. Kang saw aliens she recognized from Earth's old records. The blue-skinned Korlani, the insect-like Nexus beings, and dozens of other species. "The galaxy has been watching your solar system for 3 days, Korex announced. "Every time your ancient weapons power up, our sensors go crazy. The energy readings are beyond anything we understand." A Korlani trader named Velox stood up. "We demand to know human intentions. Your awakening technology is disrupting trade routes across the galaxy." Kang had prepared for this moment. Earth seeks only to reconnect with galactic civilization. We had no knowledge of these ancient systems until recently. "Lies," hissed a Nexus collective speaker through its translator. "Humans disappeared exactly when the ancient weapons went silent." "This was planned." Nam Yu-jin stepped forward. "If it was planned, why did we leave our colonies defenseless? Why did we abandon millions of our own people?" The room went quiet. This was a question none of the aliens wanted to answer. Back on Earth, General Bai Jun-seo stood in the command center watching reports from across the galaxy. The Architect network was affecting more than just their solar system. Ancient installations on hundreds of worlds were responding to Earth's awakening. "General," called Dr. Oh Kyung-mi from her research station, "we're receiving data from Architect sites throughout the galaxy. The network is much bigger than we thought." On the main screen, a galaxy-wide map appeared showing thousands of connected points. Each point was an Architect installation, and they were all coming online. "What are they doing?" General Bay asked. "They're scanning," Dr. O replied, "measuring the behavior of every civilization in the galaxy. It's like they're preparing a report card." Meanwhile, on Vrex Prime, the diplomatic meeting was getting heated. The aliens were demanding that Earth shut down the Architect network immediately. "You don't understand," said a Korlani military commander. "These ancient weapons once controlled the entire galaxy. If humans can use them, you could destroy anyone who opposes you." Kang looked around the room. "And that frightens you because you've been doing things you know are wrong." The Nexus speaker's insect eyes glowed red. "We demand proof that humans will not use these weapons against peaceful civilizations." "Which civilizations are peaceful?" Nam Yu-jin asked pointedly. "The ones that enslaved human colonies? The ones that destroyed the Galactic Federation?" Korex slammed his 4 fists on the table. The Federation was weak. It fell because it could not maintain order. Captain Lee stood up. "Order through oppression is not order. It's tyranny." As the argument continued, alarms began sounding throughout the alien capital. A Vrex technician ran into the room and whispered something to Korex that made his face go pale. "What's happening?" Kang demanded. Korex looked at her with fear in his eyes. "The ancient weapons are affecting our technology. Across the Empire, our control systems are being evaluated." Nam Yu-jin smiled slightly. "The Architect network is doing exactly what it was designed to do." On distant worlds, the same thing was happening. Planets where aliens oppressed other species found their technology shutting down. Slave-holding worlds lost power to their control systems. Worlds that practiced freedom and cooperation found their technology improving. The 3 great empires called emergency meetings. The Vrex Empire, Korlani Federation, and Nexus Collective had been enemies for decades. But now they faced a common threat, or opportunity. "We must work together," transmitted the Korlani Prime Minister to the other leaders. "Either we control the humans or they will control us." Back on Earth, Dr. Han Soo-jin stood in the expanded Architect Control Center deep underground. The chamber had grown larger as more systems activated, and now she could see the entire galaxy displayed on the walls. "The network is giving us a choice," she reported to Earth's leaders. "We can use it to enforce peace and justice across the galaxy, or we can shut it down and let things continue as they are." Minister Park studied the display showing oppressed populations throughout the galaxy. "How many humans are living under alien rule?" "At least 20 million, Dr. Han replied, "scattered across hundreds of worlds. Most are treated as second-class citizens or workers. Some are actual slaves." Admiral Kim Tae-wan looked at the military data flowing in. "The alien empires are mobilizing their fleets. They're scared, but they're also planning something." On Vrex Prime, the diplomatic meeting had turned into a confrontation. The aliens were no longer trying to be polite. "You will shut down the ancient weapons, or we will shut them down for you," the Nexus speaker declared. Kang stood up calmly. "That sounds like a threat." "It is," Corex confirmed. "The three empires have agreed to work together. We have enough ships to destroy Earth before your weapons can fully activate." Nam Yu-jin checked her hidden communicator. Earth's government was sending new instructions. "Ambassador," she whispered to Kang, "Earth wants you to deliver a message." Kang nodded and addressed the room. "Earth has a message for the galaxy. The Architect Network was built to restore balance and justice. We did not choose this responsibility, but we will not run from it. Any civilization that practices oppression, slavery, or genocide will face the consequences. Those that choose freedom and cooperation will be protected." The room erupted in angry voices. Aliens shouted threats and demands. Corex stood up, towering over the humans. "You are 50 people on one small ship, threatening the entire galaxy." Captain Lee smiled. "We're not threatening anyone. We're making a promise." Above Rex Prime, space began to shimmer. Ancient jump gates that had been dormant for thousands of years suddenly activated. Through them came ships. Not human ships, but architect vessels awakening from their long sleep. The galaxy was about to change forever.